Hey everybody, how's it going? So a bunch of you guys have been asking for a voiceover tutorial, like how do I get my voice so smooth, all that kind of shit. And my friends over at Rode Microphones asked if they could help out with this. So they sent me this NT1A microphone kit. Comes with a shock mount and a pop filter, and I'll explain to you guys what that's for if you don't know what that is. But I've had Rode mics in my studio since 1997. They were the first mics I bought of any kind of value or consequence. And one got blown up in the kick drum on the first Woods of Prairie record, but the other one still works fine. I also picked up an NTK way back in 2001. Still works like a freaking champ. Beautiful mic. I've been a big fan of Rode mics for a very long time, and I'm extremely proud and I feel honored actually to be doing this for them. So thank you very much to Rode. Anyway, on to the tutorial here. If you want to get into voice work and you have no idea where to start, you're going to need three things. You're going to need a microphone, you're going to need a preamp, and you're going to need an interface. Now, at the very low end of things, you can get a USB mic, plug into your computer, and away you go. I like things to be just a little bit better sounding, as you can hear from the sound I'm getting here. So yeah, I'm using the NT1A. A lot of people ask me, hey, is this a good mic? Yes, it's a very good mic. I recommend it. If you don't know where to start with microphones, get an NT1A. You can get this kit for about $269. It's got a pop filter and it's got a shock mount. Shock mount keeps it from picking up rumbles because it's a very sensitive mic. If I pound on the desk here, you know, it's not too bad. But if I tap the mic, you can just hear the thud there. So it kind of, these are like elastic bands that kind of just suspend the mic. And pop filter is very important as well. It's really cool that it comes with it. What a pop filter does is it directs the blasts of air when you've got a hard consonant like a P or a D or a K. You know, you get that poofy sound. Like, why is your drummer whining like such a pussy? You know, the pop filter in place, it keeps you back enough from the mic. So you, first of all, you know, your hardcore singers can't cup it, which is a big bonus. And then it directs all those blasts of air away from the mic. So why is your drummer such a pussy? See? No more farting mics. So pop filter is very, very important. And it's really cool that it comes with a pop filter. Okay, so what I've got here alongside the Rode mic is this amazing Aphex channel. They sent me one of these about a year and a half ago, and I demoed it for them, but I've discovered that this is my absolute favorite preamp for doing voiceover work because it comes with so many bells and whistles. It's a tube mic preamp, but it's got a compressor, it's got a gate, a De-Esser, and a couple things called a big bottom and oral exciter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all that stuff and you guys can hear just how big of a difference it makes. And I'm just going to pull, you know, the levels back a bit. I'm doing a screenshot here as well so you can see what's going on in Reaper with my levels. So this is just the sound of the mic flat. And, you know, it's pretty good, but it's, you know, subject to peaking out. Like, yeah, clipping is really bad if you don't have that compressor and output set correctly. So, you know, first up, you want to set your level to something good that's going to be able to handle some of the louder parts, but obviously you can't predict for everything. So make sure you're recording in 24-bit audio. That's a big plus as well. So once you got your level set, what you can do is throw on a compressor. And what that does, see, that's kicked on the gate too. Let me turn the gate off for a sec here. We're going to just crank that back. And our gate's off. The gate's for something else, so I'm going to explain that in a minute. So once we've got the compressor on, we can set our release time. We can go to a stronger input level and drive the compressor harder. We want to go with a slightly faster release. To what the release time does is it's the amount of time it takes for the compressor from stomping down to recover back to the normal position. And if we go fast here, and it's not going too fast. What about slow? Slow. Yeah, that really takes its time recovering. So we're going to go with a fast release. Crank the input back just a tiny bit. I don't want it crapping out. And we're going to bring up the output level. Okay, so that's cool. So we've got compression going on. And that's the first thing to getting a nice, slick radio announcer's type voice. Now, what we've got to deal with now is breathing noise, like, And when you're doing voiceover work, that can be a big problem. What you want to do is you want to throw on your gate there and just have it kind of, take out the breathing noise. If you breathe softly enough, you should be able to talk into the mic just fine and not hear any breathing noise. So we're going to crank the depth up because it's got two controls here. The threshold, which basically says how loud the sound has to get before the gate opens, and then the depth is how hard it gates. So we're going to crank it back quite a bit because I just want to get rid of all the background noise. And we're going to set the threshold about there. Suddenly, no more breathing noise. This is really cool. I really love this part about this unit. That's absolutely worth its weight in gold. And of course, the other thing we want to work with is a De-Esser. And what a De-Esser does is if you've got a harsh sibilant sound, and I'm not too bad, but a lot of female voices can be somewhat sibilant. And that's the S sound. That's the you can take that right out. The trick is to find a sweet spot. You want to hear air on the voice, but you don't want the S's to, tear the listener's ears off. I'm just noticing things got a lot more interesting when I kicked on the gate here in terms of compression too. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh, okay. This threshold control works as your threshold for your compressor as well. Oh, I get it. That's freaking cool. So we can really just stomp the living shit out of a voice here and then just use the depth control to gate everything. How freaking cool is that? Okay, we've really stomped down on that. Wow. Okay, I don't want to put the threshold down that hard. Put it right about there. So yeah, it seems the threshold control, even though it says logic assisted gate, it definitely affects the compression here. So there you go. Learn something new every single day. I'm going to pull the depth back on the gate just a tiny bit. And yeah, I can hear just a tiny bit of background noise. So I'm going to bring it back. Now that's gone. Okay, cool. So we're pretty much set. And the last couple of controls here are kind of affect things. They're the big bottom control and the oral exciter. Get your mind out of the gutters. You can see there as I pull away from the mic, the gate will stomp down there and you can't really hear me that well. So this definitely makes you get right in the sweet spot for doing your voice work. So that's a big plus too. So we're going to kick on the big bottom and the oral exciter. And here we go. And I'm just going to dial up the big bottom a little bit here. And you can hear that bottom end just come right up. And then, I'm kind of like, you got that late night pillow talk FM DJ kind of voice. Next up is Lionel Richie, that kind of stuff. And then, you pull up the oral exciter. Now, I don't need a lot here because I've got a lot of top end on my voice. And if you crank this up, it can get really tinny really fast. You can pick a frequency for it, but I don't recommend a lot. I recommend just keeping it real simple. Just a tiny bit, just to bring up the top end. So you don't get, and that in conjunction with the De-Esser is a big plus. And I'm just going to tweak my back end here, make sure I'm not peaking out. And there you go. Now we've got our sound dialed in. Now, a number of years ago, I took a job doing voice work because I was laid off from my day job for quite an amount of time, actually. And what wound up happening was I learned a lot about reading off a page. And if there's a few things I learned is you need to get around your accent. Now, I'm from Canada, and a lot of my American friends were like, yeah, you really got to work on your O's. So instead of about, it's about, But you don't want to go Michigan accent where things are, instead of things being hot, they're hot. You got to be careful. So you got to talk to some people from other parts of the world and see if your accent is coming through. You do want to be accent neutral, unless you've got like a British accent, because everybody in North America seems to love a British accent. So go for that. Another thing to bear in mind, and this is one thing I learned a lot, is if you're reading off a page, you have to pace yourself and don't speed up when you're reading, because that was my problem. I'd always, speed up to finish the sentence kind of thing to kind of get through it. And that takes practice and that takes discipline to make it work correctly. Anyway, that's my tutorial. I'd just like to thank the fine folks at Rode for providing this really cool mic and shock mount setup, as well as the Aphex channel. It's freaking awesome, and you can find links for those in the description below where you can get your hands on them. If you guys want to see more tutorials from me, be sure to leave some suggestions in the comments below. I always read those, and I've definitely got some very cool show ideas from you guys before. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.